everybody, thank you for being here today. I have to tell you guys, I am totally and completely honored to have joining us today the true maverick of AI and all things um, technical, my kind of guy, Scott Bergman. This is somebody I had the honor to meet, what, Scott, maybe 24 months ago, and I
Yeah.
immediately said, this guy has it, and just
Mm.
completely fell in love and admiration, respect. So tremendous to have Scott Bergman with us today. He is one of our one coaching certified coaches. So he is available for any of you if you want to talk to him later or want to send him a message. But Scott, tell us a little bit about you and some of the things that have happened since we
Mhm.
initially met. Some cool
Oh
things.
man. A ton has happened since we initially met. It was about 24 months ago. One thing that I think amazing leaders do, just amazing people, I think they have a very specific skill, and I can say Kathy has that skill has shined, and it is the power of belief, the power and belief of other people. Um, and I think, well, I know for certain, when Kathy and I met and she gave me such a high compliment, it absolutely changed my world. And so, I want everybody to be thinking about, hey, it takes one person to believe in one other person, and that I truly believe will change the world. And I think that's what this brand has. We have leaders and broker owners and agents who truly believe in the brand, and the brand truly believes in them. And from that, I think we've grown so perfectly. And since Kathy and I met, um, I got my coaching certification, and I started my coaching business. Went and spoke at this past summit on AI, which was absolutely bonkers. If anybody came and saw that, thank you. You probably saw me cry at both of them, and always expect that from me. It's just natural. And I opened up my own Realty One group. Whoop whoop. So, my name is Scott Bergman. I'm the broker owner of Realty One Group Authentic in Omaha, Nebraska. I've been with this brand for probably about 5 years now, and I truly, truly love and adore coaching amazing agents and leaders and leading a brokerage. So my world has completely skyrocketed since I had the belief of the people around me.
Great. Thank you. We've got some incredible people from Monica in Asheville and Hendersonville, Peter up in New Hampshire. All of us that and the people I've just called out, Darlene, several of the people on here, Rebecca, have been in business a while, and we've seen this evolution of tools and resources. And we've gone from that book that was delivered under the door to being excited about sticking a sign in the yard to things being on the internet. And I'm really aging myself now. I think I need to stop. But I want to talk with you. And when we talked about launching into the future, and it's really not the future anymore. We're going to talk AI. We're going to talk artificial intelligence. And what we want to do today, and we'll do so, and we really want participation in the chat line. Hey, Chrissy. But what we really want to know is, Scott, what are the best practices? What are the
Mhm.
ways people can leverage? Because we've evolved from an environment of really saying, no, 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 no. We don't want to do that. We don't want to be
Mhm.
replaced. We don't want the AI
Mhm.
to people really adopting it. Our tools and resources within Realty One Group, our partners have adopted it and incorporated it. And part of today is not only how to leverage, but Scott, you do such an incredible job of making sure that those tools are maximized and making sure that we're fully utilizing what the brand is providing. So I'm
Absolutely.
going to be quiet and let you talk for a little bit. How about that?
I appreciate that. I could listen to you talk for hours. So, the evolution of AI is no different than the evolution of a brand new technological tool in our industry. Everything from the internet, like you just mentioned, weren't we not? I don't know if you guys, if you're on the call and can remember Y2K, but I mean, the internet was going to go down, the world was going to explode for a brief period there. We're always terrified of something brand new. And lo and behold, what ends up happening? Those who aren't terrified of it get familiar with it. Those who get familiar with the tool utilize the tool, and then you maximize the tool. So we've seen the evolution of AI, just like we've seen the evolution of the internet, just like we've seen the evolution of the MLS, just like we've seen the evolution of the exclusive buyers agency. Now it's not anything that I think anybody should be afraid of. Now we've moved into how do I use that tool, leverage that tool to maximize my business growth, my personal growth. And I think one thing that was really cool about our brand, one of the million things that's amazingly cool about our brand, is how early the leadership and tools adopted AI. I can remember when ChatGPT was kind of rolling out, we didn't shy away from it because we never do a challenge. We leaned into it, and we've got some amazing partners and resources and leaders that truly believe in equipping us with the tools that help us maximize our business. And AI, as everybody should know at this point, is a way to do that. It is a tool in your pocket. It's not the enemy. I promise you that your peers are using it, your competition is using it, and so it's a no-brainer. It should be in your pocket. Now, just like a new tool, a new shiny tool, one mistake agents make, just like any other industry, is the rabbit hole. The rabbit hole of learning about something cool and new. And I do this all the time. I go down a rabbit hole and I wonder if it's going to make a difference. If I'm spending time and investing my time and energy into a tool that's actually going to benefit me and my business. So what I did for today's presentation is I identified the specific AI tools that Realty One Group has to offer that I don't think enough agents and broker owners know about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to identify, the life of a real estate agent, and I'm going to identify the tools and resources that are within your dashboard that you may or may not be using, but you absolutely should be using in your business. So are you ready to get started?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see, go here.
Let me just read some of the comments. I asked the question while you're doing that, Scott. What
Yeah,
are you most concerned about with the usage of AI? Rebecca shared she doesn't want to seem automated. Kimberly said
that's a good one.
using it seems inauthentic, which you'll
Ooh,
address
I
that.
love that. Oh, I love that. I love it. I love it. I
Um,
love it.
Darlene said the internet was going to go down in all banks. That was for Y2K. Um, Kimberly, I want it to sound like me.
Mm,
And that's Dion also says that. She says, I want it to sound like me. We're going to talk about
love it.
that.
I
Jessica
love it.
said, I don't want to get lazy with AI.
Mm.
So great, great things that we can
I'm putting
address.
all those in my pocket because I love those questions. I love that we're thinking about being inauthentic. I love it. You're trying to stay true to yourself, and I believe in authenticity so much that I started Realty One Group Authentic. So not only do I love AI, I love authenticity, and I'm definitely going to touch on that. So
Perfect.
um, let's talk about specifically Realty One Group AI, and I believe it truly is the ultimate time-saving tool for busy real estate agents. A little bit about me, Coach Scott. You heard a little bit of the whirlwind of my journey in the last 2 years. Super, super blessed to be part of the number one brand in real estate. I'm also a busy dad. I'm a husband. I'm a coach. I'm all different identities in any given day. And so I need AI to stay consistent, to grow my business just like everybody else. What I want to do is take the tools and resources that I know work, that you have available to you, and walk you through those. So let's first identify the challenges of the real estate agent. And I truly believe they all lead back to one thing. I hear this a lot: time management, right? Time management. Now, when it comes to time management, we're pulled in a billion directions. We know we need social media, right? But sometimes that can consume our time. Sometimes the design. Sometimes we spend, and I don't know if anybody on the call has done this before, but you spend 2 hours creating one social media post because you know you should, and then you wake up the next day and you spend another 2 hours creating one social media post, and it ends up being so daunting that you end up giving up on it because if you put out this great content that you think's out there and you get maybe 20 likes if you're lucky, and you repeat and repeat, and that's difficult, because you spend so much time, and Kathy and I have said this before, you're cooking and eating at the same time, and I feel like agents get caught in social media cooking and eating at the same time. Follow up. We all know the fortunes in the follow up. I don't have to tell anybody on this call that that's the truth. However, follow up in itself is a process. it takes time to design those campaigns and to communicate the right message and the authentic message that you know you need to communicate so you don't sound inauthentic. And then last I'm going to walk through is website presence. Your website that you're provided through Realty One Group or whatever website that you use is your digital front door. Buyers and sellers do not walk through the front door of a brokerage. That's not the age that we're in. They find you first and they find your website first online, so you have to have a presence. The good news is we have amazing tools, and specifically AI tools within your Realty One Group dashboard to help you do all these flawlessly with AI to get back that time. So let's start taking a look. One design and AI scheduling. So I'm going to walk through all three of the tools that I recommend using for your website, using for your content creation and scheduling your follow-up. And then I'm actually going to show you some specifics on how to go and do exactly what I'm telling you about. So I don't know if you know this. I hope that everybody knows, and you're going to know after this, that One Design should be your go-to place to go for creating branded and amazing content. But did you know that you can actually schedule social media content to your social media directly from One Design? If not, I'm going to show you how to do that. Not only can you schedule content directly from One Design to your social media, you can use AI to develop the content that goes on the graphic, and you can even use it to develop the caption that goes along with your social media post. It's a no-brainer. This type of system, if you were to go buy this somewhere else on your own, usually an easy 50 cool ones a month to get a social media scheduler that has AI into it. But y'all, you need to be using this tool. So, 4 easy steps when it comes down to it. As you can see at the top left there, a quick little graphic that I created with maybe a couple clicks of a button. When you're in your One Design, and you go to click on a text box, you should see a little teal button that says Write with AI. You may have seen it. You may have been scared of it. I'm going to tell you, it's not going to break the computer. One cool thing about that little button there is you click that and you can tell it what you want to potentially put in a piece of social media. So that quote right there, I didn't write that quote. I'm not that smart. So I went in and I said, hey, give a definition of unconquered. And the first one that popped up was this one. And I love it. All I have to do is click and put that right into my graphic. Don't think that you need to wordsmith and spend hours on writing the right copy for your content.
Let me pause right there and ask a question, because a pretty common thread through the
Mhm.
questions was I want AI to sound authentic, which you
Yeah.
addressed. So
Yep.
prior to doing this, is there a
Mm,
setup? Do you recommend an account? Do you recommend going in and putting in, I'm Scott Bergman,
yep.
I'm in Des Moines, Iowa? Okay.
Let's break that down. So, when I hear people say, I don't want to sound inauthentic using AI, or I want it to sound like me, or it doesn't sound like me, the first thing that I think of is their tone, right? So, a tone, how we communicate, not just how we communicate, but the way we sound to other people. Um, when it comes to your tone, how do you make AI sound more like you? I'll give you some really, really easy tips. And when you take a look at the extroverts and introverts, they all communicate. They just communicate differently. The extroverts, like me, were orators by nature. I spend more time I guarantee your introverts hate my text messages because I just talk to the phone and I have 97 typos in 3 paragraphs. But I get out exactly what I need to get out. I know that when I speak, it's the most effective way that I can communicate, being an extrovert. Introverts, they're more analytical. They take the time, energy, and effort it takes to write out really strong emails or really strong content, or they usually take pretty good notes. They're probably the ones I copied off in college. So when it comes to getting your tone right, for my extroverts, if you have ChatGPT, right? Everybody knows what ChatGPT is. Heard of it? Saw it on your phone. ChatGPT. ChatGPT has the ability for you to speak to it. There's a button at the bottom right of your ChatGPT, and actually, I'll just see if I can show everybody real quick so you can get a good look. If you have ChatGPT on your desktop, Let's see. I'm going to add a tab here. Go to ChatGPT. I'm going to maximize my screen because I don't think you guys can see it fully. All right. So this little button here that looks like a microphone. Okay. You have this button on your app and on the computer when you're using it. There is no, in my opinion, there's no more effective way for AI to sound like you than speaking to it. Speaking to it. So if you pop this button open right there, and let's say you know that this year you need to take better follow-up notes for your CRM. Okay. Um, when you finish a phone conversation or a meeting, you can, instead of trying to type out the perfect email or the perfect notes, what I do is I open up my ChatGPT and I just start talking to it. Hey, ChatGPT, I just met with Kathy Baker. She mentioned she's looking to get pre-approved for $300,000. She wants a 3-bed, 2-bath home, has 2 kids, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What I like about getting your using speaking to ChatGPT for your tone is because it can pick up on those little nuances that only your friends and family know. For example, if I were to ask ChatGPT to give me my tone, because I've done this a million times, I speak all my notes into ChatGPT. It's heard me run my mouth probably just as much as my wife and my mother has, and it gives me exactly what my tone is.
Wow. Now, is this a paid subscription or is this the free jet?
So ChatGPT, I have the paid version because I use it like crazy, but you can, in order to communicate with it, like the talk to text thing right
Right.
here, you do have to have the paid version, but I'm going to tell you $20 a month for the best assistant in your pocket.
There
There's,
you go.
there is not a better investment for $20 a month, I promise you. So
Trisha, thank you for that question. A great question.
brilliant question. I love that. And for my analyticals that are better at writing, one thing you can do is go find some of your favorite pieces of content that you've ever written, your social media posts and your emails and your college papers. I don't care. Copy all that text. Copy it all. Go over to ChatGPT and you're going to say to it, I'm going to give you some of my written text. I want you to analyze it so you can understand my communication style. And one of my favorite questions to ask when I finish a prompt is how we ask the question to ChatGPT or AI. Do you understand? My wife asks me that a lot when she gives me tasks. Do you understand? When you ask that question and you make that prompt, it will communicate back to you, hey, yes, I do understand. Or maybe it'll tell you, hey, give me a little more detail. So if you're an introvert and you prefer writing, go and copy some of your favorite blogs and written content, dump it into ChatGPT and say, analyze this and give me back my tone. And it's going to give you something very, very similar to this. So step 1 is always, always, always developing your tone within AI. So for those on the call that know me, this is 110% how I communicate. I'm informative. I read with a little bit of humor. I don't do heavy jargon. I aim to give valuable insights. So when you develop your tone, you can keep that tone or save it or put it as a note in your phone. So then when you go and use any of the AIs, the ChatGPTs and Geminis and the Realty One Group designs and all that stuff, what you do is when you go ask it to create content for you, you say, and here is my tone. And you repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. So it's almost like having an AI version of yourself. So it sounds more authentically you. Well, I love that question. All right. So once you've done that, and thank you for that. Once you've done that and you've developed your tone, let's see, then you can bring it into your Realty One Group Design Center. You ask it to create a prompt. And all I did was ask it for a definition of unconquered here. Okay. And it came up with everything from the content to a caption. So when you're in One Design, you can give it a prompt on anything, the emails, the copy, the recruiting emails, the post, all of it. And if you haven't seen how cool one of the developments has been, I think it was in the last 5-6 months, you can schedule your social media from One Design directly. You don't have to pay for an outside source. There is a schedule button when you go and try to schedule or click share. There's a schedule button. I challenge everybody immediately after this prime time, run to your one design and schedule one post. There's no reason you can't go out and schedule one single post. So not only do we have AI in your one design center that you could be using daily, you can schedule your content out so you never have to wake up and think to yourself, oh my gosh, I got to post to social media. That stuff is scheduled for you. You can pick the day and the time, and you can continue and continue and continue. If you can hire an assistant to do this for you. The tone, if you're going to hire an assistant, that tone, that step number one there for your tone is huge, because if they're going to be developing content for you, the number one thing they need is how you communicate. They need to understand how you communicate. So I use virtual assistants. They have the prompts for all of my tones. So when they go and create a piece of content, it sounds like me and I didn't even write it. So
Okay, I'm
go
going to
ahead.
call time out a minute because see that we've got so many
Oh,
questions.
good. Yeah,
Um, Joseph is asking, can the tone be saved in the settings so you don't have to input it every time?
absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Heather asked, how did you bring it into One Design? And I think that is back where you said write with
Mm-hmm.
AI and it just
Mm-hmm.
pulls it in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Jessica said, will the scheduler post images or a link to the
Images.
images? Okay, so it'll automatically do that. Kind
Yep.
of set it and forget it.
Yes.
Another question is, and or if you have specific tabs for things like social media, can you assign a specific tone to that tab?
Ooh, that's a really good one. So let me go one by one. So Joseph asked, is there a way you can save your tone so you don't have to go and grab it every single time? Absolutely. So let me go and shrink this down again. I like that we're working on both. So in your chat GPT, and you have to do this from your computer. You're not going to see the option that I'm going to show you if you're doing it from your phone. If you're in chat GPT, you can go and click your little profile icon right at the top right. Okay. And then you can go down to uh, customize chat GPT. Okay. This is for the paid version only. Yet again, best 20 bucks you've ever spent. I pinky promise. So that tone that I created, I can copy that and I can paste it right here in this little box that says anything else ChatGPT should know about you. And here's a little bit of a definition and my tone. So when it goes in, when I open up a new chat, you see how it says enable for new chats? Every single time I open up a new chat, it's got my tone saved in there. So go to your settings, go to customize my chat GPT, and once you get your tone down, paste it in this block down here. What was the next question?
Um,
I think it was
that would be the tab.
Yep.
Joseph saying you can actually do this in the free version
Oh,
also.
awesome. That's good to know. Yeah.
What third party? Jennifer wants to know what third party is needed in order to schedule post.
Zero third party. So if you're doing it through One Design, you can schedule them for free. You don't need a third party application. I can actually, what I'm going to do is when we get to after the next two slides, I'm going to show everyone specifically how to do exactly what I'm telling you to do.
And just for everyone to know, I want everybody to really take a deep breath and know and understand that this session is going to be posted like all the other One Primetime sessions in YouTube. Go
Mm-hmm.
to YouTube, go to the Realty One account, and you'll see it posted under One Primetime, and you can go back and watch it. One thing I love, Joe Logan, our friend up in Alaska, he said he went in and he didn't really like his tone, and he realized he needed to adjust some things. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. My tone may change a little bit how the transaction's going. So the cool thing about it is I can have the best communication style even when I'm not in the position to communicate effectively. I can use AI to communicate the message because it doesn't have emotions. I do. So jump into it when you need it the absolute most. Um, for those who had some questions about One Design specifically, it's probably a good show me portion. It's only going to take me about 2 minutes because I've done it so many times. If you're in your One Design Center, okay, you open it up, and let's say you curate a really decent piece of content. Would you look at that right here? When you go to share, friends, you can go to schedule right here, okay? And then you pick the date, time. I can change the time up here. I can go next. And all this will be grayed out. But you'll see a little link button. You can click and specifically link what social media platforms that you would like to link. It's literally that easy. Click share, pick your date, pick your time, link your social media. Once you've linked it once, it's going to be there forever and ever. That icon that I was talking about, when you click on a piece of text, does everybody see this AI button that I have right here that I was referring to? I can click that AI button, and this is where I can go and click write with AI. I can paste my tone after I get out of ChatGPT, and that's exactly how you do those steps. I got here in 2 minutes flat, so I guarantee if you guys jump in after prime time, start playing with it, you're going to take on my challenge of scheduling one social media post using the scheduler, see how easy it is, and y'all are going to take off. I'm pumped. So great questions. I love these. Keep them rolling. All right. So you got your social media down. You got AI doing your social media. You got the scheduler knocking it out. You're scheduled out for months. Your content's fantastic. Now, follow up. It's funny because, and maybe Kathy, I'm for sure you've heard this. Agents know they need a follow-up plan, but they don't have one. And I'm an orator. I don't like writing, right? I did better on debate than I did in English. So when it comes to writing these campaigns, inside your OneSuite, there is an AI writer that you could use inside OneSuite to write email after email after email after email. So you can build all those amazing campaigns using AI that you couldn't do before. So your OneSuite has AI email writing within its platform. So as I'm going to go over and show you guys, and it's, Kathy can jump in and maybe grab me a question or two, because I like what we're doing. I like that it's a look at it and show me. So let's keep this tempo. In your OneSuite, okay. Let's see. I'm going to go into my agent profile. Beep boop bop. I'm going to go over to my Drip Campaign Center. Drip campaigns are your emails, your email campaigns that you can set up. I can go to new. I can choose an email. And then let's see here. I'm going to cancel out of here. I'm going to go over to, here it is. That's what I want. Email, I can compose. And then in your email writer, okay, there's this button here that says AI generate content. AI generate content. So when you pop this open, what I like about this is it helps you establish your tone before you write the email. So when it says choose your tone, let's say I'm a pretty informal guy. I like the tone of informal. The length of my email, I want to be medium. So let's say I want to say this is an initial thank you email after a buyer's meeting with a new client. Because I know that when I get a new client, I get so excited about the contract, I go home, have a glass of champagne, and I forget to send them a follow-up. So I can go to compose, and it will write that email. You can edit that email inside of the email design center, and when you've got it all nice and pretty, you can easily just click insert, and it honestly inserts it right into the email. So you can write email after email.
Did you all know this? I'm wondering how many people knew this. Did you know this or not?
Now we do. Hey,
Now we do.
best thing I do as a coach is I throw excuses out the window. Because if I show you, what's your excuse now? You don't got one.
Peggy says she uses it all the time.
I love it. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So now you know you've got AI in your one design. You've got AI in your email writing. Okay. Well, but wait, there's more. So you've got your social media down. You've got your email campaigns built. You are firing all cylinders, getting ready for spring market. Man, but what about that pesky website that I know that I have that I never use because I'm afraid I'm going to break it? So, and I can go on for hours about websites. Your website, out of all the tools the brand gives you, and I will die on this hill. Your OneSuite website is more than likely the most powerful tool that you are not using effectively. Because point blank, it should be how you generate new leads, be it paid or organic leads. and it should be how you set up searches. It's pretty much the Zillow in your pocket that is completely branded for you. But a lot of agents aren't as familiar with their website, don't know how to use it. And so what I hope out of this is you realize that your website, you can create pages for your website in seconds, seconds flat. So um, I want everyone to think of their website like a library, okay? Every time you create a piece of content or create a page for your website, you're adding a book to your library. And the more books in your library, the better the books in the library. The internet or Google is like, hey, this library is all right. We're going to send more people there. They're going to come to your website, look at more pages. So the problem is agents don't know how. The good news is it's a few clicks of a button and you can write pages on your website in minutes. So you can use AI to write pieces of content and post pages onto your OneSuite website. But it sounds way more complicated than it actually is. So while I'm doing this, Kathy, if you want to jump in and grab a question or two as I get there.
Yeah, just a couple of people I want to acknowledge. I love the fact that these people are like, gosh, thank you so much. This is a game changer. I want you to just kind of look out for Sabag because he's wanting to jump through the screen and hug you right now, which is a huge compliment because we love Sabag. Tracy is worried she might break everything, so please assure her that she will not. And Jessica, we love Jessica. Nikki Rhodes is one of our big we're a big fan of Nikki at One Coaching, and she said she has been using it and that she's encouraging everyone to get engaged because it is a complete game changer. So Nikki,
100%.
thank you for that. It's so nice, and what I want everyone to realize is watch this over and over and over because Scott is very, very good at this, and he makes it look simple, and I think it is probably simple, not easy. And it's one of
Ooh,
those
that's a good
things
one.
that it's like the first time you drive the car, right? You're 10
Mhm.
and 2 and you're going, oh my goodness, how do I keep it between the lines? And then the more you drive, you got one hand, you're changing the radio, you're
Yeah.
doing everything. So guys, this is just going to take this is going to take some practice. And I
Hmm.
promise Tracy you won't break it, but you're going to have to get on board and you're going to have to engage.
And it's I want you to think of it like mini sprints. So let's say you grab one design. If you take one thing away from today, let's say it's one design. You get familiar with it today. You spend the next 7 days getting post scheduled, getting better and better and sharpening that iron and sharpening that iron. Next week, you rewatch this video and you do your follow-up emails. 7 straight days of building follow-up emails. The week after that, you take a look at your website and you build page after page after page. One of the biggest mistakes that I think agents make is because we're so dang good at so many things that we try to do them all at the same time. And I try to approach things a little bit differently. When I start getting, I'd call it obsessed. When I get a little bit of an obsession bug on a topic, that is my mind telling me that I need to sprint. And what I found is I sprint and sprint and sprint down a specific topic. And by the time I come out of it, my beard's a little bit longer and I may not have showered in a couple of days, but I know a ton more about that given skill set. Follow those sprints. Follow those sprints in business. Follow those sprints in life. That's your passion speaking to you, and you need to sprint it out. So pick one of these resources, go 7 straight days, practice, 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 grab the next one and the next one, and you've nailed down an amazingly effective business strategy. So your OneSuite website. Before I show you pages, hone in on one quick thing. I beg you to do. I'm gonna beg you to do what I'm about to show you. So, I've told this story a couple times before, but when I was 16 years old, I just got the keys to my car, 94 Saturn SL2, like a box frame, snuck out of my house. All right. Snuck out of my house, middle of the night. It didn't come back to about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I know I'm the only person on this call who's done that. So came back. My dad was in the Navy at the time. And I don't know how I thought I was supposed to get in the house because we had a 120-pound German Shepherd that laid by the front door. Okay, but I was 16. So I go to open this door. The dog goes berserk. I walk into the house. Don't worry, my dad's already up. My dad played semi-pro football. He's 6'1". He was a good 250 at the time. The good news is He was wearing his dress whites. Why is that good news? Because I wasn't going to take a lick and he's going to get blood on his dress whites. I knew I was okay. So when I walk into the living room, he kind of shakes his head, does the dad shake, and he asked me where I was. I told him, and he said something profound to me. When I heard it, it didn't sound profound, but it was very profound. He said, uh, he doesn't remember saying this. You know, no one's going to want the ice cream truck if you're handing out popsicles for free. Didn't know what he meant. 16 years old, had no idea what he meant. Took me years to figure out what he was referring to. And when I figured it out, it not only applied very well in personal life, it applied in business. Your website, you have homes on homes on homes on homes on your website. If you are allowing leads to go view home after home after home on your website and not asking them to sign up, you're giving out popsicles for free. Point blank. No one is going to Google you until they Google houses. Okay. You've got to have pages of homes on your website. You have to have your settings turned on to be a lead catching machine. I'm going to show you in 3 clicks of buttons how to catch more leads, because I promise 90% of the people on this call are not doing this. You're going to go.
Before we move to that, because I
Mhm.
love that we're talking about capturing leads now. I want to go back and put a few buttons around AI if we could, Scott, and a little bit about what you do. I think there's a little bit of a feeling of overwhelm with all of this, and what we want to make sure everyone knows is how many tutorials, because there was a very specific tutorial, and our friend Heather Reeves is talking about how much the brand offers, and it's a little bit overwhelming. You can go to multiple resources. You
Mm,
can go, once you sign into one login, you can go to one tool chest, and all the tutorials on all the products are there. Um, I think it was Holly, was it Holly maybe, that said she's gonna put it on, and I love this, that she's gonna do split screen,
mm.
and that
Ooh,
she's
that's
going
good.
to watch and do all at the same time. Whatever your learning style is, just go and look at the tutorials, watch them over and over again. They're brief, they're concise, they're very user friendly. And also know that at any time you can email us, and at coaching at realty1group.com. You can email help desk at realty1group.com. We have lots and lots of resources. Our goal, and I think Savag and Taylor, if she's on, would be very much Paige. We've got a team dedicated to making sure that all of the resources play well together in the sandbox, and that
Hmm.
you can click from one to the other,
Hmm.
and use these friendly. So again, it's going to take you jumping in. Nikki, you're exactly right. One Support is phenomenal. We've got
Hmm.
very well trained professionals ready to help you with any of these.
100%. Hey, this is a cooking show. Call me Rachel Ray. She gets the meal ready and turns around and pulls another one out the oven. So if you want to go and make that meal, you got to go. You have to go to her website. You got to look stuff up. You got to execute. But at the end of the day, what caught your attention is the abilities and tools and resources you didn't know you had before. So I challenge you to keep that bug, keep that sprint. Go and find the ingredients on your one resource guide, or obviously you can reach out to me. I have a QR code at the end of this presentation to show you. But hey, this is a cooking show. You can call me Rachel Ray, just a bald Rachel Ray. So top left of the screen, you can click on your little name here. Website settings and layout. Preferences. Here's the mistake I guarantee a lot of agents are making. They don't have their registration mode turned on. You're giving out popsicles for free. These 2 clicks of a button will catch you more leads. I pinky, pinky, pinky promise. You change it to the hard registration and you turn this to 0. Click save. I know I'm going to have some questions on who, what, when, and why. Those couple clicks after you've watched this probably a dozen times, which I hope you do, um, that right there turns on your lead registration mode for leads to register on your website. If you don't have that turned on, you're giving out popsicles for free. They're browsing properties on your website and not being required to sign up. So watch this a million times. You're going to need to. When it comes to AI for your website, okay, the 3 buttons at the top of your screen is how you create new pages on your website. I can go to new page. I can type in the page name. So let's say I'm going to do tips for, if I type, good thing I have AI because man, my spelling is horrible. Let's see, Nana, let's see, tips for home buying. There we go. I'm gonna copy this, put it everywhere on my page, and I'm gonna click a layout. These are different layouts that you have of pages. You can spend hours here because you have forms you didn't know you had that can automatically create. But for today, I'm just gonna create a blank page, blank canvas, friends. Okay. So when does AI come into play? This text box right here, I can click that just like in the emails. It's the same setting in the emails. This one is good to do after you've done a dozen emails because you're going to know exactly what buttons to click, okay? So I'm here and it's that same AI button that we had in the emails, the exact same one. So I'm going to go ahead and erase all this content. I'm going to go to generate content and I'm going to use the same tone or paste my tone that I was using in my emails. I'm going to say, write a blog about the top tips for buying a home in the spring. Compose. Same AI writer that you use for your emails, so it's probably good to double these up. You're going to do your emails first and then come over and do your website, and then boom, there you go. You
Now, how important is
can,
it, because it is artificial intelligence, how important is it for you to go back and proof it and not just automatically?
mhm.
Um,
Absolutely.
okay.
So the power, everybody who's afraid that AI is going to take over the world, remember you still have to press the send button. Okay. I know there's been a dozen times where I wrote out some text messages I never really sent. I still have the power to choose how I communicate to the world. So if I'm using AI and I don't like the output or the information that it gives me, I can ask it easily to change it. So now what's cool about using ChatGPT is that when you tell it that you don't like something, it's going to remember that. So over time, the more that you use AI, the smarter it gets with you. You're going to have control over the send button every single time. So you don't have to put it out there in the world if you don't love it. But in just a couple minutes flat, I can easily go and create a web page, a blog, if you will. So I know everybody's heads are spinning. Remember, this is a cooking show. Um, I would love to take some time and start fielding some questions that everybody's got.
Yeah, guys, pop some questions in here. Now, Jessica had a really good question. She said, can you clarify that you're in the website editor from OneSuite?
Oh, that's a good one. So in OneSuite, that's how you access your website. How do you know whether you're editing your website or just on the normal one that a client sees? So when you're in your one login and you're in your website editor, the way that you know is at the top left of the screen, it'll always say hi and your name. This is how I know that I'm in the website editor. If you just go visit your website while you're not logged into one login, you won't see this up here. So if you don't see hi Scott or hi Kathy, you're not in your website editor. That's a really, really good question.
Questions like all of this, Michelle says, all of this is on OneSuite.
100%. So the email writing that we saw is on OneSuite. The website editor and the page writing is on OneSuite. The only other one we showed right in the beginning was your One Designer where you can create and write content. But all of it is within your amazing dashboard that you're provided just by signing on with the greatest brand in the entire world.
Okay, couple of questions.
hmm
Explain how you get into the website.
Okay, cool. So if I'm in my one login, I can go down to my OneSuite, or you can easily type it up here, but I can click on OneSuite just like this. So when you get to this page right here, okay, I have a couple different settings because I wear 57 hats. When you log into your OneSuite, you will get brought back to your dashboard. And it's a super flashy dashboard for those who have been with us for at least over a year. You've seen the dashboard get completely revamped, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. So it's logging in here, taking a hot minute. Probably wanting me to tell a joke. There we go. All right, so I'm in my dashboard and I have a wealth of tools and resources. To get to my website editor, this little button that says My Website, you get this for free. It's already out there in the world. You're probably just not using it. So you click my website and you click on website editor. And it's going to bring you to the exact homepage that you seen. And how do I know if I'm in my website editor? It says, "Hi, Scott." As you can see, I've gone and customized mine. I have a little video in the background that we have an amazing company that we work with called IDC. If you can actually purchase customizations with your website, etc. But that's how you know that you're in your website editor. Mhm.
Okay. Brandy says, how do I save this page? But I'm
Yes.
not sure, Brandy, which page you're talking about.
She's referring to the page I think that I was probably
Okay.
creating. So
Okay.
I have a page here that I created. I click that three dots up here and I just click save.
Okay. Lori's got some great questions, and I apologize, Lori. I did not realize they were in the Q&A. She says, how do you spend, and a little bit of time management, which we love discussing that. Do you spend 1 or 2 days doing your scheduler once a month, or how do you juggle it with as many
Love
hats
it.
as you wear?
I love it. Everybody write down the statement I'm about to say. Okay, everybody got a pen, pencil, or their phone in their hand? The best bulk. The best bulk. The best, if you look at those high, heavy producers that are in, I remember being in a elite group with Tom Ferry years ago. Um, the best bulk. They do everything in bulk. They do their social media content in bulk. They film their videos in bulk. They write their emails in bulk. They work on one skill. They do it for hours on end to get themselves ahead for 3-4 months. So don't play the game of going back to the cooking analogy or the cooking show. Eat one item at a time. Okay. If it's time to eat potatoes, eat all your potatoes. You ain't getting up from the table until you do. Schedule bulk time. Okay. And there's time management. I challenge to say time blocking. I have to block out the rest of the world for me to manage my time first. Okay. So when you're going to do your scheduler or your content creation, do it in bulk so you can get ahead for 30, 60, 90 days so you can set your eyes on that next prize. And what you'll realize is as you're perfecting this one skill for a few hours, you get better at it. You get quicker at it. So when you come back and do that the following month or 2 months because you're so dang good at doing it, you know how to do it so quick. And for my introverts or my analytics on the call, create your own tutorials. Write down your own checklist so you don't turn around and say, crap, how do I get back and do that again? So don't eat it all at one time. Eat one item at a time. Finish that, move on to the next, move on to the next. You're going to develop amazingly sharp tools in your tool belt.
Well, and I love the cooking analogy, Scott. And I know that when I cook, I like to prep. So I like to have everything prepped. So then when I cook, it's just a matter of adding things. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
that, I mean, and if you think about it like that, I'm going to be disciplined, and that's what we're talking about. I'm going to be disciplined enough to cut all the onions, and then I'm going to chop all the carrots, and then I'm going to chop all this so that I'm not burning the onions while
Mm-hmm.
I'm chopping the carrots. And
Mm-hmm.
that's, if you think about it that way, that's part of it. Lori has another question. How do you add video to your one website?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So on your one suite, and I love that, and when it comes to, I'm gonna go back to cooking because we love the cooking analogy. Um, One thing you got to remember is, if Kathy's got a signature dish, you all got signature dishes you can make. You don't even need to look at the ingredients. But what's gonna happen when you're not next to your next of kin and they want to make Kathy's macaroni? If you didn't write it down, if you didn't put it in the recipe book, you if you don't write things down, you don't leave a legacy. If you don't leave checklists, if you don't leave tutorials, if you don't leave the steps on how you're going to do something, you don't leave a legacy. You take it with you. And if you ever want to scale your business, I guarantee the biggest mistake you're making is you're not creating checklists for how you execute. So someone can come along, and I'm going to let you know something. They may do something better than you. You should probably hire them and have those checklists for how you do exactly what you do. To add video to the background of your website, you can easily go to click that same Hi Scott button, click website settings and layout, and you can change the theme and change the layout and add videos to the back of your website. Super easy.
Huge shout out. Dan Wilson is contributing in the chat line, and we love Dan. He's been
Oh, he's fantastic.
he's a
Yeah.
brand advocate for a long time and a very knowledgeable person. We appreciate you, buddy. Um, Marcel says, can you tell us, oh, yes. Wait a minute. It's moving so fast. Um, you can watch the YouTube recording. It will be posted probably by tomorrow. Give us about 24 hours to get that posted, and you can go in and watch it over and over and over. And you had asked about the PowerPoint. That will be, of course, on the YouTube because
Hmm.
that'll be the
Hmm.
way that you can view it.
Yep.
Dustin Sherlin, who we love, and our friend in
A
Tennessee,
great
we
coach
also
too. Yeah.
use those blog posts for short form video.
Oh,
Really
that's really
cool.
smart. They do a
Um,
great job.
let me see. Can you review how to send email from the CRM? We've got 7 minutes, Scott. So I'm gonna let you tell us what we can do
Hmm.
and do that as well. There was one question I wanted to get to, and it's Lori's last question of, is it true that the structure of the prompt is the most
Oh,
important
that's a good
tip
one.
in
Yeah.
using the AI?
I love that. I love that. And I want to break down her question because it's so powerful. The question she asked was the structure of the prompt. How do you ask the question? I know you were told there are no silly questions. That's not true. When it comes to AI, if you ask a poor question or poorly written question, you are going to get a poor answer. You need to be super specific in how you prompt AI. I always go back to how my wife tells me to take out the trash. She reminds me it's Tuesday. That's her prompt. We've been together long enough. I know it's Tuesday. I bring out the trash. But if I wasn't with her, I wouldn't know what she was talking about. So, couple key pieces when you're going to create a prompt or write a prompt. First, give it a role. For example, you are an expert marketing assistant. You are an expert email writer. You give it a role. Tell it who it is first. Then you ask a very specific question and you provide your tone. I would like you to write a follow-up email for following up with a client after a buyer's meeting. And here is my tone. Bam, bam, bam. That is the Big Mac of prompts right there. You put all those pieces together, you got a Big Mac, and you'll always stay full, I promise. So great question. Thank you for asking that one. Um, the email, so what I'll do when I go and send this presentation over to Kathy for the YouTube, I will do my absolute darndest to find the tutorials to do exactly these 3 tasks so she can put it in the YouTube description. So you're going to have to watch the YouTube and check it out to grab all those goodies. Now, the best way to get really good at I think anything is finding a coach. I think when it comes to individual sports like real estate, most people, if not all, most agents need a coach that understands them at a deeper level, understands who they are, and knows the skills, tools, and resources they need to be successful. And I like to believe that I do my dangest to make that happen. So what I'm offering everybody on this call is the ability to schedule a no commitment, no cost coaching consultation with me. Whether it's you want to go over exactly what we talked about, or you're like, you know what, that guy kind of gets me. I would like to learn more from him. Scan this QR code, get scheduled with me. It should take you right over to a scheduling link, and you get some of my one-on-one time. Coaching truly brings out. People think I do it for them. I'm gonna give you a secret. I don't do it. I don't do it for you. I love you. I do it for me, because I go to sleep at night looking in the mirror and saying someone needed me today, and I helped them. And I believe that anybody who has that feeling is going to make a great coach. So with that, I'd love to be able to coach you. Feel free to scan this QR code, and it means the world for you guys attending this.
Great. Thank you so much, Scott. And
You
thanks to
bet.
Dan, thanks to Jessica, thanks to Joseph, thanks to everyone who participated today. Jessica made a really important comment that I want to share. She said when
Mm,
she first started using AI, she was intimidated.
mm,
And someone said to her, you can hire a virtual assistant for $20 a month. And that she was all in once she subscribed and she used it. And guys, we're not
mm-hmm,
spending your money. We would never do that. What we're saying is for $20 a month, you can partner that. You don't even have to have the 20, but please engage and use the tools that you're already provided by Realty One Group, which we're so proud of, and
mm-hmm,
let it maximize, let it do the heavy lifting for you. Let it do the things that are enable you to close more transactions so that you're not getting caught up in those repetitive tasks and writing emails and doing things that may or may not be the sweet spot of your day.
mm-hmm,
So please do that. Again, reach out to coaching at realty1group.com. If you have questions, please scan Scott's QR code. He's just made
mm-hmm.
an incredible offer to you. We appreciate you. This will be posted, like I said, within about 24 hours. Please post a link in addition to the QR code. Scott, if you want to do that, if you want
Yeah.
to post your link or your email, then
Mhm.
people will have it there. Guys, thank you so much. Join us in 2 weeks. We'll be here on 3/19. We'll have a little bit more technology. I think we're marching into this end of the first quarter with technology. We will welcome Justin Taylor on that with Blueprint. So feel free to join us then. You'll be hearing more. Scott, love you, man. Thank you.